YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. This is IMAX Sports bringing you another This Week in Sports. This is the fourth installment of the series, and we have some interesting topics to go over today. The first round of the NHL playoffs has begun. The Cardinals are uncancelled. The Suns sweep the bubble but missed the playoffs, and George Kittle got a new contract. This and even more on this installment of. As always, we're going to start with Major League Baseball. So, the Cardinals are going to Chicago this weekend. I believe tomorrow they're starting up their season again against the White Sox. They have had a total of 8 players test positive and 10 players and 8 staff members for 18 total people. And all of those people are no longer playing and they're no longer associated with the team as of right now. But the Cardinals need to play 53 games in the next 45 days to catch up with the rest of the league. So I do wish them the best. I hope that all of the people affected by this virus do get better. I hope that they're not impacted greatly, and I hope that the team can continue to play normally and get through these games. The Cubs are sitting pretty at 765. I've been updating every single week the teams above 700, and this is the first week that the Cubs are the only team above 700. Yes, that is right. The Cubs are the only team above 700 in the AL or the NL. The Yankees and the A's lead the AL at 684. The Red Sox challenge the Pirates for worst team in the entire league. The Red Sox are at 300 and the Pirates are at 200. They're in separate conferences, but they're in separate conferences. But the Red Sox are still kind of fighting for that completely worst spot, not just last place, but worst. The Yankees are 684 and the only team undefeated at home. That means that their away record is not as strong as some of the other teams that are doing well, but they are undefeated at home, which bodes well for the playoffs if they get a good seeding position. There was a Reds player that tests positive after Friday's game against Pittsburgh, so they're going to be extra careful today on this game to make sure that no Pittsburgh players are sick and no Reds players are sick at the end of the game. That player will likely not be playing, and the virus is still impacting sports, and it's really too bad. The Twins and Royals had a rained-out induced doubleheader. They're playing 2 7-inning games tonight because their previous game was rained out. So make sure to check that out. It'll be interesting to watch. Next, we move on to the National Hockey League. And these are the playoff summaries for the beginning of Round 1. Round 1 is not over. It's far from over, but this is just a summary of the beginning of the playoffs. So in the East, we have the Flyers versus the Canadiens, the Lightning versus the Blue Jackets, the Capitals versus the Islanders, and the Bruins versus the Hurricanes. Flyers are in first, Lightning are in second, Capitals are in third, Bruins are in fourth, seeding-wise. So far, 3 of the 4 series are all tied at 1-1. The Flyers and the Canadiens, the Lightning and the Blue Jackets, and the Bruins and the Hurricanes are all tied at 1-1. But the Islanders are beating the Capitals. So the 5, 6, 7, and 8 seeds are doing very well for themselves. The 8th seed is staying toe-to-toe with the Flyers, the 7th seed is staying toe-to-toe with the Lightning, the 6th seed is beating the Capitals, and the 5th seed is staying on track with the Bruins. So these playoffs are going interestingly enough, and it's going to be interesting to see how they end up playing out. In the West, the Golden Knights versus the Blackhawks, the Avalanche versus the Coyotes, the Stars versus the Flames, and the Blues versus the Canucks. The Canucks are beating the Blues, so the 5th seed is beating the 4th seed, which makes more sense than the 6th seed beating the 3rd seed. In the West, the 6th and the 3rd seed are tied, and the 1 and 2 seeds are both up 2-0. So all 8 series have played 2 games. The ones with a bolded team, that team is 2-0, and the team they're against is 0-2. All other series are tied 1-1. So it'll be interesting to see how these games continue over the next few days. And I believe that there was a game yesterday. The Flames beat the Stars yesterday, and so now they're leading 2-1. So I don't have that on my page, but because they're the only series that has played 3 games, so the Flames are actually beating the Stars. So I'm going to change that on my slides. So the West actually has a leader in all 4 cases right now, and the East is very up in the air. So that was your NHL playoff news. Now we move on to the NBA bubble. And this has possibly the most interesting news of the week. The Suns go 8-0 in the NBA bubble. The only team to go 8-0. They beat 7 playoff teams. 7 of their 8 games were against playoff teams, and they won all 8 of them. And their reward for this was the 10th seed, missing the playoffs. Because they tied the Grizzlies' record, but the Grizzlies had some tiebreaker over them that they got the 9th seed instead of the 10th, and now the Suns are stuck with the 10th seed and can't even play into the playoffs. It's horrendously bad to watch, and I'm really sorry. Like, I know that they'd be playing the Lakers and they'd probably just get destroyed in the first round, but I would want to give them a chance. The Lakers were, I think, 5-3 in the bubble, and the Suns were 8-0. I know that the Lakers didn't have any incentive to play well because they clinched the first seed, but the Suns were gaining. They were right up there. They were trying to get in there. They did everything they possibly could have done, and they still couldn't make it. And it's just really too bad because I was really rooting for them by the end of the series. They tied the Grizzlies' record, but they just couldn't get the 9th seed. But moving on, the Trailblazers are playing the Grizzlies. The Trailblazers did, in fact, get into the 8th seed, even though the Grizzlies started with the 8th seed. And Damian Lillard has 221 points in the last 5 games. He's averaging 44 points a game. That's insane. I believe that James Harden has 168 points in the last 5 games, averaging 32 points per game. So, or not 32, 33. So, it'll be interesting to see Damian Lillard play against the Grizzlies. I think that the Hurricanes will, not the Trailblazers, I'm getting sports mixed up. I think the Trailblazers will destroy the series. Next you have Deontay Jordan, who donated 200 meals to the Los Angeles front line. It's kind of a smaller story, but sometimes we need those smaller stories in our lives. It's a really wholesome thing, and it's really nice to see people just working and influencers trying to help out their community as best as they can. And it's a really respectable thing to do, and I think that he's amazing for doing that. Last but not least, the Bulls head coach, Jim Boylen, is fired after 2 seasons, going 44-103 for a win percentage of about 30%. So that's kind of news. It's too bad for him, but it makes complete and utter sense. So, yeah. We have NFL news. The 49ers have signed Tavon Austin and J.J. Nelson, both extremely fast wide receivers, to replace, or not replace, but to make up for the loss of Deebo Samuel, who has opted out of the season due to coronavirus. And I think that those are 2 very large improvements to the team. They are not star receivers, but they're always playmakers, and they're always team players, and I think that they'll fit in well with the 49ers offense. George Kittle has also been signed to a 5-year, $75 million contract, setting the tone for other players in the league that have been getting bigger deals. I think that he well deserves it, being in the NFL top 100, top 7, more like. Having an amazing season last year, we can expect great things from him in the future, and I think that he more than well deserves the $75 million contract, with $30 million guaranteed and an $18 million signing bonus. Kemba Siverand, a rookie from the Seattle Seahawks, has been cut because they do need to make the 54-man roster, and also because they snuck a disguised female friend into the hotel to during practice. Not during practice, but like they snuck into the team's hotel. It's really too bad that people aren't taking this virus seriously. They're trying their best to make sure that the NFL can have a season, and it's too bad if players can't see that they can't do idiotic things like this if they want to have a season. And there's no reason why they shouldn't have been cut. I think that they knew what they had coming for them because they disguised the person. They knew what they were doing was wrong and against the team's policy. So they knew they were going to get cut if they were caught, and they were. So it's too bad for them, I guess, but not really, because they should have been a little bit smarter in the head. Next, there will be no national anthem performances. They likely will not allow military or police onto the field during games because they want to decrease the number of people. I believe they'll be playing it outside or over the loudspeaker or something of the sort. I'm not really sure the logistics. Either they won't be doing it or they'll be doing it over the loudspeaker, but I believe they will be doing it in some capacity, just no performances, so that they can have, I think there'll be someone singing outside of the stadium alone with a microphone, is my understanding of it. They also, at every Week 1 game, will be performing the Black National Anthem to support equal rights, and all the sports have been doing their own things to support African American rights, Black Lives Matter movement, these different things. I know the basketball NBA has been having like equality and justice and different things in the jerseys. Football is going to be doing this. I don't really know much about what hockey and baseball have been doing because I don't follow those sports as strongly. But I think it's great to see. It's really uniting, and I know that a lot of people are getting behind all these things that they're doing in the Black Lives Matter movement, and I think it's an amazing thing to see. And I'm excited for the NFL season. And last but not least, there are 7 refs in the league that are opting out of the NFL season. So I know that we've been hearing about players, the opt-out deadline, and different things, but now refs are opting out. So again, refs do have physical contact with the players oftentimes, so it makes sense that there would be some that are opting out of the season. It's interesting to watch all of this unfold before us, and the season will be here before we know it. It's about a month away now, a little less. So I am super excited for NFL season to start. I hope you guys are too. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like down below, and please comment what any news that I missed. I think that I got most of the important stuff. Subscribe to the channel if you like this sort of content. I come out with new content every day. I do take suggestions as long as it aligns with things that I kind of do on the channel. I don't take every suggestion. I take most suggestions. So if you suggest a video suggestion, then I will try and do it. If I haven't gotten to your suggestion yet, or I have replied to your suggestion and I haven't gone through with it, it's because I haven't thought of a way to do it yet or what I'm going to do with it. So I will try to get to most suggestions, if not all of them. I hope you guys did enjoy this video today. Please leave a like down below. Please let your friends know about the channel. It's been growing. I don't know how fast channels usually grow, but I feel like it's been growing very quickly. I have one video that's about to reach 100 views, which is incredible. I've never even imagined it doing so well, or any of my videos doing so well so early on in my YouTube career. So thank you guys all for watching. I do appreciate all the support. Make sure to check out some of my other videos when you're done with this one. Let your friends know about my channel. And as always, I will see you guys all tomorrow. Peace out.